Riri Williams is back. Ironheart is back. Um, she was pretty good in the Black Panther show, the Black Panther movie, the second one, Wakanda Forever. Um, the actress's name is Dominique Thorne, and honestly, I hadn't seen much of her before this, before Black Panther. Um, I think, to be completely honest, I think she was better in Black Panther than she is in Ironheart. But this is only the first three episodes. Anthony Ramos is in this also, and he's playing Parker Robbins, the Hood. Comic book character, gets his powers from a magical cloak that he got from a demon, and that's never good. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to play this off as Mephisto, which would be good. This would be like the introduction, I'm thinking, of Mephisto. So what had happened was Riri Williams leaves MIT, unfortunately, dramatically. Um, she goes back to her hometown of Chicago, and she wants to further her iron suit, but she doesn't have the finances of a Tony Stark. So, being the smartest person in the room doesn't matter much if there's nothing you can do with it, no way that you can apply it. And she's super smart, she's uber smart, but she doesn't have the finances to do the things that she needs. So, she ends up getting with the Hood and his gang. And she becomes a criminal, basically. She knows she's a thief. She's a gang of thieves. She knows she's a thief, but she's okay with it because she convinces herself it's okay. Captain America, in the beginning, was unaliving Nazis, finger across the throat. You know, and that's how he started out, man. He was terminating Nazis. Iron Man was selling weapons of war all across the world so people could unalive other people. You know, the Incredible Hulk was crashing through buildings. There's no way he broke through all of those buildings, destroyed all that stuff, through all of those cars. Him and the Abomination was going around and around, and nobody died. I can't believe there's no lawsuits against, David Banner. But, you know, Thor, in the old days, he was telling those Vikings, hey man, you want to go to Valhalla? You need to unalive those people across the field from you. A lot of heroes were doing bad things. In the comic books, Hawkeye started out as a criminal and became an Avenger. In the shows, he started out as an assassin. Him and the Black Widow, they were killing, they were unaliving people left and right. So my point is, all of these heroes at some point had to have a change. In their origin story, they were a bad guy. And then they become a good guy. Or not really a bad guy, but they were doing bad guy things for what they considered a good purpose. She's doing bad guy things for what she thinks is a good purpose. I just need to get enough money so I can start, fixing my Iron Man suit. She doesn't call herself Ironheart yet. It hasn't happened. But there's a street in her neighborhood called Ironheart Street. So maybe that's where she's going to get the name from. She needs to fix her AI. So in order to fix her AI, she puts these things on her head so that it can work with her synapses and take thoughts from her head and put it in the computer and build an AI off of her own thoughts. But it's actually off of her memories. So she's thinking about her best friend, and poof, her AI is her best friend, and it generates a computer-generated image of her best friend in order to communicate with her. So there's a projection of her friend, which is kind of cool. In the comic books, the AI was Iron Man. It was Tony Stark, but I like the twist. I like the twist. You know, Tony Stark is the whipped cream. And if you've got too much whipped cream, even though the show's cake, if you got too much whipped cream, you don't only think about that whipped cream. It's all over the place. It's on top. You gotta get through the whipped cream in order to get to the cake. Tony Stark was actually in the movie, the show, Robert Downey Jr. All you would know about is the whipped cream. You wouldn't think about nothing else. Every time he showed up, he'd steal the scenes. So they did this in a smart way. This was smart. Um, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. There's a lot of stuff going on. The Hood apparently has the actual powers he had in the comic books, which is kind of cool. So he's going to be a lot tougher to deal with than a regular person. He can become invisible. He can teleport. He's got two guns, bang, 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 that are accentuated because of Hellfire. Sort of like when Ghost Rider grabs a chain or a shotgun or whatever, and he wraps the Hellfire around it, it becomes, underworld enhanced. That's what's up with his two guns, and they showed him. I was like, wow, he can make the bullets turn and all kinds of stuff. He's a cool character. I enjoyed reading about him in the comics. Um, if he doesn't die during the series, he is going to eventually become considerably more important if they keep using him. Um, I like the show. I like the characters. I like the cast. Um, there's a character that's helping Riri. Now his name in this show is, I can't remember what he was like, Brad or something like that. But eventually he lets her know that his name is actually Ezekiel. And there's a lot of promise with him. He played Han Solo previously. I think that's what I remember him doing before. I, I think his character is going. Well, his character is making bionics essentially, and I think eventually his bionics and Riri's, her suits, they're going to have a clash. They've already set up science versus magic as a thing. That ought to be really interesting as it goes on. Um, the Hood, Parker, is being really nice to her. He digs her. He needs her. He's definitely using her. But he's being super cool to everybody. He's making sure they get the things they need, yada, yada, yada. If there's arguments or whatever, he stops them. And he's really, really cool. Ramos in this show is playing Parker perfectly. Um, but it's a little bit of a spoiler. If you haven't seen it yet, prepare yourself for the next 20 seconds. Something happens that makes him really want to kill her. Um, he has a tragedy, the Hood does, and he's yelling and screaming and cussing, and he's not cussing, but he's yelling and screaming and everything, and the voice from the underworld speaks to him, and I'm like, they're gonna do it. They're gonna pull a trigger on it. It's gotta be Mephisto, you know. It might be Dormammu, but I think it's gonna be Mephisto. I would really like to see that. The characters. Okay, if you saw Hawkeye, a lot of the characters in the Hawkeye series were actually people from the comic books. A lot of the characters that were in there, the cosplay guys, they were from a group called the Death Throwers. And it's a supervillain team. They all threw different things, pinballs, bowling balls, knives. They threw different things at people. But they played them kind of like good guys there. A few of the people that are with Parker's group are comic book characters, but they're reimagined. versions of the different characters. I may do a video and dissect who is who, but I like the show. I like it started off kind of slow. I mean, it was action, but it didn't really catch me until that third episode. Second episode was better than the first. Third episode was better still. But with that third episode, watching that third episode made everything I do, the rest of the show, the entire show better. It was good. But that third episode grabbed me. And I dig that. I dig what happened and where the story seems to be going and how they're building the animosity in that story. I like that. I like it so much that I would give Ironheart the first three episodes a strong 7. Yeah, 7 bags of popcorn. It's not a 6. It's not a 5. It's above that, mostly because of that third episode. But it's not an 8, a 9, or a 10. Not yet, at least. But it's running cooler, so it's going to get better. But I would say a nice, solid 7 bags of popcorn. But that's what I think. More importantly, what do you think? And if you had a chance to look at the video, let's talk about it some more in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. It's my new setup. Just move in. And like.
Popcorn passport.